Hey everyone, Dinosa here with Work of Art, season 1, episodes 5 and 6. And I'm just recapping here. Of course, the whole episode starts off with the usual recap: what say what, who did what, the whole freaking thing. You know what sucks about these recaps with this particular program? They're boring. They're boring. At least Jersey Show is funny. This is just boring on that. Anyway. Can we say product placement here? Yes, episode 5. Art that moves you, which they happen to go to Audi, of all companies, on that, which happened to be one of the prime picks for most artists in New York City, on that, from my understanding on that. And they took all the artists that remain in a little drive to New York City to the Audi Forum so they can figure out what exactly moves them here. What did they show? Alright. So they went there and they had a half an hour inside the Audi thing, check out the Audi colors, and of course Miles, goes to sleep, whatever. Ryan doesn't pay attention here. And just kind of one thing after another, and everyone kind of gets their ideas on what it is they're looking to do. And the concept was moving. So they go to the Audi forums, they come back to the studios and start building the constructions here. And there's only really a few noteworthy pieces to mention here. The first one actually is Miles, his empty garage with the street signs. That was kind of neat. Good idea, and the deepness of the picture mixed in with the two street signs drew you in. It was actually a pretty creative piece. I don't think it was finished, but I feel it was creative. The other noteworthy pieces is Audi did a whole thing about him winning the race. It's kind of a funny picture, but yeah, you can kind of see it as well where he's coming from here. Jacqueline had a very intriguing piece where Jacqueline took pictures of all the guys staring at her inside the Audi forums, and she threw paintballs at them, and what it did is it put paint over their faces, and it was white paint, interesting enough, but then she put mirrors between the pictures, like rows of pictures on that, to show that whoever's looking at them is also looking at you. It's a very intriguing piece, I have to admit. That was very good of her. And Mark did a map. Yeah, it was like hotel art mixed with GPS systems on that. I didn't get it. It was just basically a grid. To be honest, I could have done better in that old half pipe geometric format that I did as a kid, where you could make a half pipe on paper by just doing a ruler and going boom, 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 and it would make a perfect curve on that, and you can make like a skateboard going up it, little stuff like that. Or if you're really creative, you could do like squares like this, or a whole circle. You could even tunnel it down. It's just stuff like that when I was a kid, and I wasn't that impressed with it. And Jamie, who ended up getting eliminated in that particular episode, did a picture of her dancing around, I believe, the Audi symbol and different reflections of New York City. There was nothing really outstanding. It was just more of a self-portrait of herself. And there's nothing that grabbed it here. Ryan was very arrogant because he had this picture of him low-riding like this, and in contrast to what he was when he was all nervous driving those cars. I think he was nervous driving those cars because he's like, oh man, I don't have the money to pay for the repairs and these things on that. So, overall, it was okay. I think it was a lot of product placement with Audi on that personally, but that's my opinion. It's not really art when you start saying, driving Audi, we're going Audi this and Audi that, it's whatever on that. So anyway, they do the pictures and they have the crypt on the whole thing, and the person that ends up getting eliminated is Jamie on that, because Jamie Lynn did a picture of a circle of her dancing around the circles of reflection in New York, and they're like, this is whatever, this is just a picture of yourself. There's no message here. I don't even get the message. It didn't work compared to everybody else's. And the winner here was Jacqueline with the photographs and the guys' faces being painted with paint. I have to admit, it was very, very creative on that. Okay? So that pretty much covered the whole episode 5 of Work of Art. Now, episode 6 was different, where this actually, I think, was more of an art piece here. Is they wanted them to make a public structure that was safe, people could use and enjoy, but not hurt people or just not intrusive, and it could go into a park, which was an interesting challenge. There's no product placement, no nothing about this. And the teams were actually split up into 2 teams on that, namely in this case, and I've got this written down, where the red team was Addie, Mark, Nicole, and Ryan, whereas the blue team was Eric, Jacqueline, Miles, and Pergrin, or Pender, whatever, on that. And yes, I have that written up here on the computer as well. And looking at the art structures, one was like, I don't know, the red team, which was Addie's team, that they did this structure where it was like kind of a pyramid dome on that, which could be used but safe. It was stable. Excuse me, I'm tired on that. And on that, just going through that, looking at that, and it's like, yeah, that was okay, and I can see how that could work, and it can be safe. Now, the other team, the blue team in this case, they made this cockamania thing where there was like a half pipe on that, or more like a 3/4 of pipe with the ladder going up, and the weight of the structures were being held by the ladder on that, like this, and nothing was bolted in. It wasn't safe. It was like a half-assed job that was put together. There was no thought into it and everything. Large reason why it looked so half-assed is arguments started between Miles and Eric. And in my opinion on that, Jacqueline put a note to in this case Eric, and said, hey, look, you really gotta like voice your opinion here, and you gotta like insist on stuff. And I think what she is, but at the same time, I don't think she's smart enough to sabotage, in the words of Eric. But it's never trust a beautiful woman, because beautiful women, one thing most of them are very good at is manipulation, because they know how to play the game, and they never trust that someone is just pretty, because pretty and someone who's somewhat smart. Deadly combination on that, because they can use their looks and their attitude together. But Eric was like, whatever on that. Now, Miles was being kind of a prissy little thing, because he's like, well, if you're going to help, you're going to help. You're not going to not. It's like, so, Eric's like, okay, so when are you the boss of this team on that? And Eric's like, whatever, you little RP, whatever. I'm here for a last shot. I'm not going to be talked to like this. And it created conflict, and there was no compromise. There was no, okay, look, we'll do this. And here, there was no teamwork there, which caused the whole thing to fall apart, caused the whole art not to work, caused it not to be safe. And which ended up getting Eric eliminated it on that in such situation. Now, I personally think he was eliminated not by the artwork. I think he was eliminated because he was making the other 3 people on the team uncomfortable on that. Because Eric, if you looked at some of Eric's work versus their work, Eric was actually a lot better at some of his paintings than the others here on that. It was more, Miles was sensitive. They had to cater for the sensitive. And you gotta look at the marketing audience who watches this is on that year, that most of them, are sensitive, and they think Eric's a big bully. When Eric was like, I'm trying to help, and every single idea is being shot down, and and then I try to help, and I'm told to get out of the way, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. And then all of a sudden he's being the aggressor. So no, I don't think Eric was being the aggressor. I think Miles was trying to be the aggressor, but when Eric pushed back, Miles got offended, and then that got filtered down, and I think they eliminated Eric on the basis of offending people and him being the big bully. And Eric's like, whatever, I don't believe this is Eric's last shot. Eric actually has, I think, a lot of potential. Just got to get beyond that picture. We got to get beyond that with him. But anyway, that really sums up 5 and 6. Now, the shorter on that, because there's less competitors, and this one particular video only had not only the car one, which was only just a short number of them, but also the park one that only had 2. So there's not really much to cover, and a lot of the douchebags and idiots have been eliminated. So we're getting kind of down there here on the people. But anyway, next one will be 7, 8, then 9 and 10. I may be able to combine 7, 8, 9 together, and then maybe just 10 all alone to finish it up. Otherwise, this is Dinosa, and we'll go ahead and put it on later. Bye.